Welcome. It's February 17th, Monday, 2025, President's Day. It's my
what day?
President's Day.
President's Day.
Yeah. It's my honor and pleasure to be sitting with Mr. John J. Jeckovich. How are you doing today, Mr.
I'm doing very good, very good, very good.
You're looking well. I see you're all bundled up, ready for a snowstorm. Big sweater, sweatshirt, long pants, heavy socks. Wow. I heard you had a special visitor today.
Amber, yeah.
She keeps you company.
Yeah.
You two get along just great, don't you? Yeah. Yeah, that's wonderful. That really is.
Yeah, we went to lunch.
You guys went to lunch together?
Yeah.
Wow, that's nice. That's nice. I seen her on the way out. She's a very nice young lady. I wish there was more people like that in this world. She's a true gem. But anyways, we're getting down to the final pages of your book. How many pages is your book?
849.
Oh boy. We're on 823. We're getting down to the end. So I hope you start giving me some material on your second book you're writing, because I'm running out of pages. I've been asked many a time, where could I buy the book at?
You can buy it.
The book's not for sale, nor never will be for sale. This is just Mr. Jeckovich's message to all around the world. How to have a nice life, how to have a marriage very happily for 69 years, and how to keep a simple life. Mr. Jeckovich was born in 1925, and gas was 7 cents a gallon. Fill up your monster car for $1 or $2. Mr. Jeckovich, back then you could buy a nice house for $1,000 or $2,000, and you could buy a nice car for $500. TV wasn't invented yet, but it was a very nice, simple existence, where generally the husband worked, and he made enough money to support a family of 4 very easily, and the mother took care of the most important part of taking care of the children and the household. Taking care of the children and the household. So it's a very interesting book, and it goes through World War II, his courting Delphine Stulak Jeckovich, and their marriage, and also the businesses he had. He had a laundromat, snowplow business, construction, wallpaper.
Yeah.
You did a lot of things. So Mr. Jeckovich wore many hats, and he took care of his mother from 11 years old to her demise at 89. And his mind is like a library. So if anyone wants to ask Mr. Jeckovich a question, just text him at 407-366-0000. So let me put a couple pages in this book under my belt. To open up the laptop, I'll need your dog tag number.
40965.
Okay. We're picking up where the closing of the store. The closing of the store. You close the store, and now you're headed to, with your free time, to Expo 67.
Yeah.
What do you remember of Expo 67?
In Toronto, yeah.
What do you remember?
Crowded.
Does anything pop out to you, like a futuristic car or?
No. Millions of people.
Didn't you make reservations a year in advance?
I made reservations for a spot to park the car, and they stuck me out in the field.
Was it a nice spot?
No, right near barbed wire fence.
Oh no. Okay, the first hurdle we had to overcome was setting up a large tent we had rented. So you rented a tent for the occasion.
Yeah, and we put that tent up in the middle of the night.
Our mistake was not in setting it up several times prior to our coming here, so you had no practice with it, right?
No.
Now we were obligated to erect it in total darkness. Wow.
Yeah.
With only a lantern to shed some light on the whole operation.
Well, we had a lantern.
Delphine was helpful, and the rest of the family were too tired and fell asleep in International.
Yeah.
How you like that? Delphine helped and everyone else fell asleep. After much trial, was it hard to put that tent up?
Well, we weren't familiar with it.
was pitch
Stakes,
dark.
stakes and everything else.
Was it ground?
No, luckily it wasn't raining. The ground
Yeah.
wasn't socked up or muddy or
Okay.
nothing.
After, how long did it take you to finally put up the tent?
About an hour.
Oh, wow. From driving all that way and then working in the dark, you must have been tired.
And well, we had that big lantern with us, yeah.
Yeah.
We had that cupboard, the food cupboard with us. I don't know what happened. Remember
Yeah.
that food cupboard? I don't know what happened to that.
Yeah. After much trial and error, we got the tent up and the cots and bunk beds in place. Where was there a restroom there?
Oh, there was one there. There was one there. A clean place, yeah.
Okay. One by one, we carried the children into respective cots, kissed them good night or good morning, and finally got to bed ourselves a little after 3 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
So you had a long day. And was the place crowded?
Oh, yeah, well, it was jammed up with it. Well, that was a big holiday season, yeah.
The night was cool for August, and we thought of firing up this gas space heater we had rented, but after some quiet discussion, we decided against it. Primarily, we did not have much confidence in its operation and from a safety standpoint. So basically, you could have got CO2, you could have died with the carbon dioxide poisoning. I can say with almost complete certainty, after spending almost a day at the expo, there was nothing outstanding that struck in my mind. So you weren't impressed with it?
No, no.
Oh, the exhibits were interesting enough, and the children enjoyed many and varied rides that there were, but the crowds were overwhelming, and the heat of the afternoon was almost unbearable.
Yeah, well, they had good restaurants there, yeah. If you could get a seat.
Yeah. We all received sunburn on our faces and arms, and constantly looking for places to find a cold drink was hard.
Yeah.
Even if it was only water. The waiting in lines was torturous, and most of the times you're taken up just waiting in line. So most of the things you did was wait in line.
You wait in line, you had to go to the bathroom, you had to wait in line.
It's like Disney.
Huh? Yeah.
Kind of like Disney.
Yeah. I hate
Did you enjoy yourself when you went to Disney?
Huh?
Did you enjoy yourself when you went to Disney?
No, I didn't enjoy it. No, I knew it was going to be that. And there wasn't that much, it wasn't that great outstanding either.
Didn't you have some relatives come over? They wanted you to go to Disney?
Well, after that, yeah.
Where did you go? Did you go to Disney or someplace else with your relatives?
I didn't go with them, no.
I thought when Steve and Millie came, Millie was determined to go.
Oh, yeah, they were, what the hell were they? They were trying to get, we didn't go. We didn't go.
I thought she did go when she was explaining.
Oh, yeah, I think we went. But it was only a day.
And weren't they talking about the wines and things?
Oh, a wine tasting place, yeah. We got pictures of it somewhere.
Really?
At home, yeah.
Oh, wow. But she was determined to go no matter what.
Yeah.
Wow. So you had to go along with her. The subway ride to the expo was exciting and children enjoyed it, but here again the crowds were enormous.
Yeah.
It was a short ride, perhaps 15 minutes in duration, and went under the Montreal River. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. We were down in the tunnel, huh?
Yeah, something the children did not understand. They always wondered why we never got wet. That's funny. We arrived at the campsite around midnight, so now you're tired again.
Yeah.
You arrived at the campsite around midnight each night. The children were exhausted from a full day. After brushing their teeth, they were soon sound asleep. Delphine and I would sit around the campfire, so we had a campfire there.
Yeah.
That was nice. But after a while, we soon drifting off ourselves, and we would call it a night. We had become familiar with the usage of the gas space heater, and we would use it each night. Okay, that's good. Let's see. The nights were chilly and damp, and we had not brought an extra cover outside the sleeping bags.
Yeah, we could have needed more blankets, yeah.
You used the sleeping bags.
But we had that heater in the trailer, though.
You used the sleeping bags, right?
Yeah.
But during World War II, you weren't allowed to use your sleeping bag.
No, no.
Why?
Well, because you zip it up, we couldn't get out of it
You get
fast
shot.
enough.
Yeah. Delphine and I were up each morning preparing the breakfast for the children and ourselves, which would be our only complete meal for the day. The rest of the day we could subsist on hot dogs and any tempting snacks we found in many pavilions, restaurants, and eateries that were scattered throughout the huge area. Wow. This is interesting. The last night, in Montreal, we arrived back at our campsite.
No, we had a big fire all the way back home. Fire on both sides of the road.
How's that?
Well, you know, the fire started up.
That was in Canada?
Yeah, it was in Canada. Both forced the fire, all fired up. Smoke, and I had to close the windows.
Wow. The last night in Montreal, we arrived back to our campsite so we might sit around a campfire, sipping hot chocolate and talking the many aspects of our trip to Expo 67. The children were impressed with the rides, and I do not believe they came away from the expo with any richer or full appreciation of the many wonders of the universe or what they could expect in their early adulthood. Delphine and I enjoyed many exhibits and displays, but after the second or third day, we just had enough.
Yeah.
You got enough.
We're going to go home, yeah. And then we hit that fire all the way back home.
We just as soon head for home and spend our final vacation days around familiar surroundings. I like that. Better be around familiar surroundings than someplace you don't know and probably don't like. That's nice. It was just too hot and too many people everywhere, as anything you wanted to see took forever to accomplish because of the waiting in mile-long lines under the broiling sun.
Yeah.
Wow. We thought about camping in the future, and the only thing we were certain of was that we did not want to stay in a tent on the ground and wanted something more stable and unruffled. So you decided you're not going to use a tent anymore.
No.
Yeah. In any event, we did not want to think about it now. Instead, we began to concentrate on a homeward bound journey and how we would find more things at home.
That's when we bought that camp trailer. Remember, we had that camp
You
trailer.
bought a pop-up camp trailer. Yeah. Of course, there was always an unpleasant prospect of my returning to work. That was Skibbly Clark. Which was always the most difficult.
I go back to work midnight.
Which was always the most difficult for me to comprehend. Minutes, please. Could you Google if there's Disney, and around Disney there's another park that explores around the world. Could you find out what that is like that?
Epcot.
Yeah. That was right. Millie wanted to go to Epcot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that.
she wanted to go Epcot, and we went.
Yeah, I know, but she says, I'm not leaving here.
I want to go to Epcot. I come all the way down here. And what she talked to those people about was something about what she had at home. And you bragging about it. She bragging to people.
Oh, so every different pavilion she went to with Italian or Polish or from Germany, she would
talk about what she had cooking and that. Them two like to gab with everybody.
So you weren't going to go, but she says, we're going to Epcot.
Delphine said, where are those two? We haven't seen them all day. The only time we see them was that night when we had the same table.
So you mean to tell me you had to drive all the way to Epcot?
Yeah.
What a miserable ride. Wow, but they talked to everybody there, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Epcot.
And then he got drunk.
Oh no, oh no, oh
Then
no.
he got drunk.
Okay.
And they cut him off.
Okay.
We had to grab a guy's wheelchair, put him in a wheelchair to get him back home,
Okay.
get to the camp.
All right, let me pick it back up on this expo. This is really interesting. Expo 67. Oh, long lines everywhere under the broiling sun. We thought about camping in the future, and the only thing we were certain of was we did not want to stay in a tent on the ground and wanted something more stable.
That's when we bought the trailer.
So that brought you to the Coleman pop-up
And
trailer.
that's when we went to Poker, and that was a 51.
Yeah,
We-
no, that was
51, yeah,
51, but it was in Norwich, New York,
yeah,
Bowman Lake,
yeah.
Bowman Lake.
Right, the farm country.
Whatever happened to that trailer?
Well, I had it in the garage for a while.
Still there?
No.
Okay.
Same thing happened to my truck.
Disappeared.
Yeah, they took it out of solar, they haven't taken it.
Yeah.
This asses.
We did not like the carnival atmosphere presented to us at Expo. In any event, we did not want to think about it for now. Instead, we began to concentrate on our homeward bound journey and how we would find things at home. So that gave me the idea, you want to go camping, but you don't want to go to these expos,
No.
67 type.
This is regular
You
Bowman
wanted to
Lake.
go to Bowman Lake
State Park.
State Park where there's beautiful nature,
Yeah.
beautiful lakes,
Yeah.
and a lot of room between
Yeah.
campground sites.
Yeah.
And that's what you did for many a year.
Well, see, we went back home, it was far on both sides of the street.
All right, let me see if I find this in here. Of course, there was always the unpleasant prospect of returning to my work, so you had to go
Yeah.
right to Kimberly-Clark, which is always the most difficult for me to comprehend, and I never look forward to it. Okay, let's see. I would read, oh, here's an interesting, real interesting part coming up. I would project my thoughts into a number of actual days I had left before I returned to work. It was always associated with returning to the Army after a 3-day pass or furlough.
Yeah.
Okay, well here's coming up something very interesting. We discussed this many a time over the year. Somewhere in that period, in 1965 and 66, the kids start taking organs lessons. And now here's the best part. Are you listening back there?
Yeah.
I became running in earnest about 3 or 4 days per week, having read Dr. Cooper's book on cardiovascular conditioning,
Yeah.
how running related to the heart and blood vessels, and the beneficial effects of the exercise. I was inspired by its foundings. It would be something I would stay with for many years, and it became an important part of my life. Well, let's discuss that. Now we found the part of this book that we were talking about. When you start running 8 decades ago is because of this Dr. Cooper's book.
Yeah.
And when Mr. Jeckovich started running 8 decades ago, it wasn't fashionable or acceptable how it is today. What would people say to you?
Yeah, we got that.
What would people say?
About 10 minutes. Okay, yeah, thanks.
What would people say to you when you started jogging 8 decades ago?
Get off the road, you bum.
Yeah. So here it is. Here's the one paragraph that started Mr. Jeckovich's journey to 8 decades of jogging. And back then, people were ignorant of the fact that they were ignorant and no one jogged. So when they seen this man in corduroy pants and an old sweatshirt and big old army boots, they'd say, "Get out of the road, you bum."
Yeah.
What else would they say?
Yeah.
What else would they say?
So stuff with it.
What they throw at you?
Stones and a can of soup or something.
Yeah, they throw a full empty cans of Genesee beer, I was told, and also they threw a full can of Campbell soup and popped Mr. Jeckovich right in the head.
Yeah, but I had 2 neighbors on my street go with me after a while.
No kidding.
That was, I can't think of the 2 women.
Elizabeth,
Yeah, Elizabeth and the other one. They said, can we go walking?
Sarah.
Huh?
Sarah.
No, Sarah was too fat, no. No, Sarah was going, no.
So fat people can't jog.
There was two women down the other end. Elizabeth was one of them, yeah.
Well, 80 years this went on, and the people that were saying derogatory comments to Mr. Jeckovich 80-some years ago, I can guarantee you they're all pushing up daisies, and Mr. Jeckovich is in perfect health right now. Take a look. Take a look. So there's the paragraph. There's the paragraph that told the story.
Yeah.
There's the paragraph that told the story right here. We talked about it. So the kids didn't do much of the organ lessons. Did you take organ lessons?
I took organ lessons, yeah.
Could you play a piano now?
No, it was an organ. We didn't have a piano, we had an organ.
So the kids didn't do much of the organ lessons, although they could play with clarity and distinction. They were certainly not on the level of lookies Jeffrey displayed.
No, Jeffrey, we went to his concert. he played for 2 hours constant.
Unbelievable. So he had great talent.
Yeah.
Great talent.
He's neurotic though.
Yeah, well, we could talk about that another time. Wow. So let's lay this off here. And there was a text that came in, and it just came, well, a couple of them came in. One of them I want to refer to. We were speaking yesterday about the fifth commandment. Of the 10 commandments, the fifth commandment is very important. That's honoring your mother and father. And I had an interesting text from a priest, a retired priest, and then later he called me. His name was Father John Corapi, and he would tell me he would be a traveling priest primarily in Texas for many years.
The father.
Yeah.
He had old shoes on, worn out shoes.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Well, he's retired now, and he told me when he was working with the elderly a decade or so ago and traveling through different cities and towns in Texas, which he finally retired in Montana, he would tell me that the baby boomer generation today were not taking care or visiting their elderly parents. He says it was at epidemic proportions that they just disappeared. The baby boomers had no interest in their elderly parents. And he said it was lack, he doesn't really know the answers, no one knows the answers, but he always believed that the family that prayed together stayed together. But he did mention one thing, that the Mexican families, the youngsters, without exception, quite the opposite of the white baby boomers, the Mexicans took care of their elderly parents, and he didn't understand why, but he says that was a fact. And he says it's at epidemic proportions. At 10 years ago, when he was a traveling Roman Catholic priest in Texas, and now he's retired in Montana. But he said to me this text, he says he wants me to read this paragraph. And so I will, Mr. Father John Corapi. He sent me this text. Minutes, please.
Six and a half.
Okay. This is what he wants me to say. The text reads, Jubilee year 2025. David, we're in the Jubilee year 2025. Remember our Holy Father, Pope Francis declared of a year of Jubilee from December 2024 to December 2025. Don't let this special year pass without taking efforts to celebrate. You and your family and others could decide on a walk celebrating family together. And that's where we get to a family that prays together, stays together. Gather around your table some evenings and pray together for the needs of our world. Very important. Do some kind of thoughtful deeds to make the difference in the life of an elderly person. Great words.
That was my mother.
Yeah. In other words, Mr. Jeckovich spread and be God's love wherever you go and which whoever you meet. That was a text and I read it as I agreed to. So that came from our reading yesterday on honor thy father and mother. It's a great reading. And if we get back to the 10 Commandments, we'd probably have a much better world. I have some simple text that came in, and I have them in my logbook. Do you feel up to answering?
Yeah.
When you were a teenager, Mr. Jeckovich, what did you do with your friends and where did you hang out?
Actually, I mean, from the street.
You did what?
I didn't have too many friends. I mean,
But where would you hang out when you had friends?
we go to Hyde Park swimming.
I see.
There was a pool there.
And during your lifetime, what was your favorite way to stay in shape?
Running.
Running, 80 years. Are you a neat person or a messy person?
What kind?
Are you a neat person or a messy person? Are you a neat person or a messy person?
I'm not a messy person, no.
You're a very neat person.
Oh, neat, yeah.
You said you watched many a movie during your time working in the Cataract and Strand theaters as a teenager in Niagara Falls, New York. You were an usher.
Yeah.
This person here was also a regular goer of the movies at the Cataract and Strand many years ago.
Who's this?
I don't really know his full name, but he said he would go to the Cataract and Strand during the years you were working during that time frame. And he watched this movie several times. And of you being an usher, who do you think Jack the Ripper really was?
It was a fictitious name.
Fictitious name.
Yeah.
Okay. Minutes, please.
Just under 3.
What's that?
Just under 3.
During your times, mine is like a library and you went to many a school, did you ever tutor people? Did you ever tutor students? Did you ever tutor students?
No. I taught them?
Yeah.
No. All my own kids, when they had homework they couldn't do.
But
Yeah.
you didn't have a job tutoring then?
No.
Mr. Jeckovich, because you're in the war and you see a lot of horrible things, what is the meaning of peace to you?
Peace?
What is the meaning of peace to you?
There's no war going on.
Okay. Mr. Jeckovich, when you were a young boy delivering those Polish newspapers, you had 150 or so of them.
Gina Klosinski's, yeah.
Say that again?
Gina Klosinski.
I see. And was that a thick paper?
Well, Sunday was, yeah, Sunday was.
Did your mother read it?
She read it, but I think she read most of the obituaries.
I see. But we're interesting to know, this guy's a bicycle collector. He wants to know what type of bike you delivered the papers back in the 20s.
I had a black Knight bicycle,
Schwinn?
Schwinn bicycle with a big basket in the front. I put those 150 newspapers in that bag.
And did that Black Knight also have a button on the
On the side of the-
where you press it for the horn?
Yeah,
And did it also have a headlight?
headlight, yeah.
That's a very
And then a
collectible.
tail light too. We got to keep the batteries up though.
Wow, that's a very collectible. Very
Yeah, I
collectible.
like that bike.
That's a very collectible bike.
And I run that bike in the wintertime too.
Yeah.
All the way down from Portage Road. All the way down to Portage Road, all the way down to, not Niagara Street, but near the animal hospital.
Ford Animal Hospital?
Yeah. That was about 2 miles.
Across the police station.
Yeah. In the fire hall.
Well, you made some tracks with that bike.
Yeah, that bike was in the wintertime, yeah.
So you had a good time
With
delivering
that
that
bike,
paper.
yeah.
Nice.
I think we have another one in the books. What would you like to do now, Mr. Jeckovich?
When you watch Trump,
Sounds like a winner.
Seconds.
16.
you got no more questions?
The studio ends in 16 seconds.
What do you mean, Julio?
The studio time is only 30 minutes. So
Oh.
tomorrow we'll pick it up. I got more questions.
We'll put on Trump right now.